Okay, in Thevenin's theorem, there are three cases. First case is circuit with only independent sources, and the second case is circuit with dependent and independent sources. Okay, the third case is a circuit with only dependent sources. When the circuit is having only dependent sources, there is no real energy source. The real energy comes from the independent source. So V Thevenin will be 0, I short circuit will be 0. So simply the network will be replaced by R Thevenin. And also you cannot directly find this R Thevenin because of the presence of the dependent sources. So we'll use the test voltage or test current method. If you apply V, if the I current is drawn, then the ratio is called R equivalent. Or otherwise you can apply 1 volt source and then find out the current drawn, then 1 divided by I is the answer. Or otherwise you apply the 1 ampere current source, then find out V divided by 1. That will give you the R Thevenin value. Okay, now we'll take one example. Okay, so now the third case. Okay, the question for third case, question you find, okay, find R Thevenin, V Thevenin and ISC. If the circuit is like this, to I, this is a current dependent voltage source. Okay, if it is like this, and one more resistance is there here, this is 2 ohm. Okay, now this is terminal A and B. Okay, so now the solution here. Okay, this voltage source is current dependent voltage source, and you are not having any other voltage or current source. Independent sources are not there. Even if you measure, even if you calculate V Thevenin, that will be 0. I short circuit, that will be 0, and only R Thevenin will be there. Okay, R Thevenin means resistance looking from this terminal, because already the load is removed. Okay, and again this is not having any independent sources already. But when you calculate R Thevenin, you have to keep the dependent sources. Okay, it is there. So this is the R Thevenin or R equivalent you have to measure. Now, again to measure R Thevenin, you can apply the test voltage or test current. Okay, before that, we'll measure, we'll find out what is V Thevenin and ISC. By procedure, we'll do, then finally we'll get V Thevenin or ISC is equal to 0. First, we'll try to measure what is V Thevenin. Okay, V Thevenin means the circuit has to be open only. Okay, so you can take the same circuit, then measure what is the voltage across this open terminal AB. Okay, so this is 2I, this is 1 ohm, this is I ohm. Okay, now you want to measure what is this open circuit voltage across the terminal AB. Okay, I want to measure what is this terminal voltage VOC. Okay, the voltage across this terminal is equal to voltage across this 2 ohm resistance, and also is equal to the voltage across this 1 ohm resistance. Okay, now you know one thing, because you can apply the nodal as it is VOC. Okay, open circuit, the same voltage VOC will appear here, the same voltage VOC will also appear here. Okay, that means this point, this point, or this point, both are same, all are single point only. So you can apply the nodal here. So you are in this node, okay, all these 2 points are same. Then you measure the current leaving the junction is equal to 0. Once if the current leaves like this, VOC minus 2I divided by 1 ohm. Okay, so VOC minus 2I divided by 1 ohm. And then what is the current leaving from this junction, because already it is given in the question itself, that is I. Okay, then what is the current going to this branch? Okay, because VOC voltage is there across this, that means VOC divided by 2 is the current leaving from this node. Okay, leaving from this node and it is going to the ground. Okay, is equal to 0, is equal to 0. Okay, so what is VOC? Again, VOC is means the voltage drop across 2 ohm or 1 ohm, that is I into 1, I into 1. So that means finally VOC is equal to I. Okay, so you can replace VOC or I by with VOC. Okay, so once if it is VOC, I can be replaced by VOC. So 2 VOC plus I means VOC, I means VOC, this is 0.5 VOC is equal to 0. So finally you are having only VOC. Okay, so 2 VOC, 2 VOC cancel, 0.5 VOC is equal to 0. That means finally your open circuit voltage is equal to 0. That means what? The open circuit voltage is equal to Thevenin voltage, that is 0 volt only. Okay, so because this circuit is not having any independent sources, it is having only dependent sources. That's why the Thevenin voltage is 0, because the real energy supplier is not there here. That's why you are getting Thevenin voltage as 0. In the same manner, if you measure short circuit current, that also will be 0. Okay, take the short circuit. So in the previous case, the terminal AB was open. Now the terminal A and B has to be short circuited. Okay, now you have to measure this current, short circuit current. Okay, so this is high, this is 1 ohm, this is 2 ohm, this is 1 ohm plus minus 2I. Now this is short circuit, that means the voltage here is 0 volt. Once if it is 0 volt, the same 0 volt will appear here. If it is 0 volt, 0 ampere current will flow here. If it is 0 ampere, if it is ISC, then the current flowing here has to be I short circuit current. Okay, I short circuit current. And this 0 voltage will also appear across this 1 ohm also. And again here also 0 volt, then this I is also 0 only. That means again here also that ISC only will flow. Okay, so you apply the KVL in this loop. Once if you apply the KVL, minus 2I plus ISC is equal to 0. You know already I is equal to 0. Okay, so plus ISC is equal to 0. Finally, I short circuit current is equal to 0. Okay, because we know already the short circuit current or open circuit voltage will be 0 only, because the circuit is not having any independent sources. Okay, now our aim is to find the only RThevenin. Okay, our aim is to find only RThevenin. Okay, so again you can apply the test voltage, then you can finally find out what is the RThevenin, that is the procedure. So now I will apply the test voltage, I will find out what is RThevenin. Now we have to find out what is RThevenin, and please be sure that whenever you are finding RThevenin, you have to include these dependent sources. You should not remove the dependent sources. Okay, dependent sources should be there. Okay, so RThevenin. Again, we cannot directly find out RThevenin with the series parallel combination. That's why we are using test voltage source or test current source method. Okay, now I am using the test source here. The test source here is 1 volt. I am applying this test voltage. So this circuit definitely will draw some current from this test voltage. That voltage is I. That means I can find out R equivalent looking from this terminal. R equivalent is equal to V divided by I. V is equal to 1 divided by I. So my final aim is to find out this I value. Okay, now this 1 volt is appearing across this terminal, okay, because this 1 volt is in parallel with this resistance. So I can write 1 volt here. If it is 1 volt, then 1 by 2 ampere current will flow here. If it is incoming is I, outgoing is 1 by 2, then here you have to get I minus 1 by 2. Okay. Then this is I already mentioned in the problem. This is I. Okay. If it is I, then this same 1 voltage will appear across here also. So this is 1 volt. Okay. That means here 1 ampere current will flow. That means what, your I is equal to 1. Okay, if it is I, if it is 1, then how much current will flow here? That is I minus 3 by 2. Current will flow here. Okay, now you apply the KVL in any loop. I am applying the KVL in this loop. Okay, now what happens? Minus 2I minus I plus 3 by 2. Okay, this is 1 volt is equal to 0. Finally, 2I plus I is equal to 5 by 2. Okay, 5 by 2. Now you know here small I is equal to 1. Small I is equal to 1. That you can substitute here. If small I is equal to 1, then I is equal to what? 1 by 2. I is equal to 1 by 2. If I is equal to 1 by 2, what is R equivalent? R equivalent is equal to 2 ohm. R equivalent is equal to what, sir? 2 ohm. Okay, that is the idea here. Okay. Again, purposefully I have removed this. Okay, because if you, I think you can compare this with the previous cases, I think. Okay, so purposefully I have removed the effect of independent source 2 ampere. Once if you compare the previous case problem, okay, there was 2 ampere here present, okay, in between this resistance. Purposefully I have removed that 2 ampere voltage source, independent voltage source. Purposefully I have removed that current source, independent current source. Then I am doing the case 3 model. Okay, so R is equal to 2 ohm. Yes, okay. Now we'll take okay, next we'll see the superposition theorem. Superposition theorem. Okay, the superposition theorem is applicable only for LTI network, linear time invariant network, and mainly the superposition is applicable only for a linear network. That is applicable for linear network. Linear network. So what this superposition principle is telling, when you have more than one sources, the total response across any element is equal to sum of the responses if in case the input is acting independently. The input is acting independently and separately. Okay, say for example, I am having one network like this. I am having one network. Okay, if I am providing V1 voltage source, then I am getting some response here, say VO1. So again, if some new voltage source comes, okay, then my response, okay, when V2 is there alone, then I may get VO2. Then what happens when I have V1 and V2 simultaneously? Then my output is sum of this VO1 and VO2. This is the superposition principle. And again, here input can be current or voltage. Okay, so if the network contains more than one source, okay, if the network contains more than one source, the response across any element, the response across any element is algebraic sum of responses, algebraic sum of responses when each element, when each source acting independently, when each source acting independently, each source acting independently. Okay, now we take one problem. First we will solve by regular method, then later we will apply the superposition principle. Okay, this circuit is having two sources. One is 4 ampere source and another one is 20 volt voltage source. Say this is 2 ohm, this is 2 ohm. Now finally I need current. I want to find out current. What is the current across this parallel resistance 2 ohm? Okay, now I can go by any method. Okay, then finally I need to find out this current I. You can apply the nodal or you can apply the branch current method also. Now I'm going to apply nodal. Okay, now I take this node. I do not know what is the voltage. I take simply V, then I measure, then I apply the KCL at this node. Sum of the current leaving the junction is equal to 0. If it is like this, then what is the current leaving here? Minus 4 ampere. Here V minus 20 divided by 2. Then here the current leaving is it is I, but that I is equal to V by 2. Okay, that I is equal to what? Because this is voltage divided by 2. Okay, V by 2. Then once if you solve this equation, okay, then you are getting 14 volt. So okay, so I know my nodal voltage. My nodal voltage is 14 volt. Then once if I know the 14 volt, the node voltage, then I can measure the current I here. So simply 14 divided by 2, that is 7 ampere. Okay, now somehow with the nodal method, I have found out the current that is going across this 2 ohm is 7 ampere. Now we will try to apply the superposition. Okay, now use superposition theorem, then find out. Okay, now what is the superposition theorem is telling? When you activate one source, okay, when you activate one source, you deactivate the other source. Okay, you deactivate the other source. So first what I am going to do, I am going to use only this source. That means I can remove the effect of this source. I have to remove the effect of this source. Okay, so I am using first current source. Okay, removing the effect of voltage source means you have to make the short circuit. Okay, removing the effect of voltage source means you have to make the short circuit. Okay, it is like this. Okay, once if it is the case, now this current is due to only this source, so that I am putting I1. Okay, not to make confusion. Okay, this I1 is current due to this 4 ampere source. Okay, now, and similarly you find out the current due to this 20 voltage source. Okay, now I'll write here. Now that time you have to remove the effect of this 4 ampere. Removing the effect of current source means you have to open circuit. Okay, then you are having this diagram. Plus 20 volt, then this is 2 ohm, this is 2 ohm. Now the current is going here. I call it as I2 because the current due to this voltage source. Now you know what could be the current I2, and I1 here is 2 ampere. It's simple current division. I2 here is 20 divided by 4. Okay, so that is 5 ampere. So finally what the superposition theorem is telling, individually you calculate the response, finally you add it. Okay, so what is the total current I? That is equal to I1 plus I2, then 2 plus 5 is equal to 7. So we are getting same answer. Okay, so this is the principle of superposition theorem. Okay, network may have any number of voltage sources or current sources. Okay, then you have to separately, you have to calculate. Finally, you have to add everything. Finally, you have to add. Okay, that is the idea. Next one is reciprocity theorem. Next one is reciprocity theorem. So reciprocity theorem means in a linear bilateral network, in a linear bilateral network, if we interchange the source and cause, if we interchange the source and cause, then there is no change. Then there is no change. Okay, what is the meaning of this one? You take any network, a linear bilateral network. Suppose I am connecting my voltage source here. Here some element is there. Okay, or let it be short, no problem. Anything it could be. Now I am getting some current here. Now I am getting some current here. Now what I am going to do? The same network, I'm not doing anything. Okay, this is like port 1, this is like port 2. Okay, it's like output port. Okay, I'm not doing anything. 1, this is 2 only. What I'm going to do, I will remove this voltage source, I will connect it here. Okay, then here I'll make short because I have removed the voltage source, then the remaining element will be there. Okay, then if you measure the current here, you'll get the same current. Once if you apply the same voltage on the other side, on the other end, you'll get the same current. That means you have interchanged the source, but finally the response remains same. When you apply the voltage here, you found out the response here, same response. If you apply the voltage here you'll get the same response. Here you are getting. Okay, that means what? The network is interchangeable. That means you can give the input either at the port 1 or at the port 2. Okay, you can take the output in the corresponding port. Then if the output remains same, then that particular network is called a reciprocal network. Okay, that means what? Okay, once if you visually imagine, if you imagine properly, I can write this network as like this. Yes, because I'm applying the input here, so I can flip the network. Okay, I can flip the network. Okay, I can apply the voltage. This network I am flipping just. Okay, and again I'll get like this. That means, okay, you can either interchange your input and output, or you can either flip the network. So that means in a bilateral network, okay, if it is reciprocal, then input output port can be interchanged. Okay, in a bilateral network, input and output port can be interchanged. Okay, port can be interchanged. Okay, now we will see one problem related to this. Okay, I take one network. The network is like this. Here it is 4 ohm, here it is 3 ohm, here it is 6 ohm. And again, to denote it is a network, I am putting the dot mark. Okay, because this is the network. Now I am going to connect the source. The source here is 6 volt. Now I will measure what is the response here, I. Okay, now you can apply any law. Okay, what is the response? I is equal to okay, first you find out the total current. Okay, I total, then later you can find out I. What is the total current? 6 in parallel with the 3 is 2, 2 plus 4 is 6. That means total current is 1 ampere. If the total current is 1 ampere, then that has to be divided 6 parallel with 3 is 2. Okay, 6, then the total current is 1 ampere. Then that has to be divided. Okay, 1 ampere is total current, then opposite current divided by total current, total resistance. So you'll get 2 by 3 ampere here. When you apply the 6 volt voltage source, here I will be 2 by 3 ampere. Now, okay, what I will do, I will simply the network remains same. Okay, simply the network remains same network, 4 ohm, 3 ohm, and this is 6 ohm. Now please remember, this network is not symmetric network, because symmetric in the sense these two has to be equal, but this is not symmetric, but it is bilateral because it is consisting of only resistance. Okay, this is bilateral network. So then I will put this 6 volt here. Once if you put your 6 volt here, 6 volt, then I have, again here I have to make a short only, because here in this side short is there. So once if you remove 6 volt, then it has to be short here. Okay, here it is short because I am connecting that 6 volt here. Then what is there here? Now I want to measure this I, whether this I is matching with this side. It has to match because this is the bilateral network. If it is the bilateral network, reciprocal network, then it has to satisfy the reciprocity theorem. Okay, then 4 parallel with 6. First I will find the equivalent resistance. Okay, now what is the equivalent resistance? R equivalent is equal to 6 parallel with 4, then I am getting 12 by 5 ohm. Okay, 12 by 5 ohm. Again this is not R equivalent, just you found out 6 in parallel with 4, then you have to add with 3, then R equivalent is equal to 12 divided by 5 plus 3, that is 27 divided by 5 ohm. Okay, now you know what is the total resistance. Okay, once if you know the total resistance, you can calculate what is the total current going out of this 6 volt. The total current going out is equal to 6 divided by 27 divided by 5. So 10 by 9 ampere current is going in this way. Okay, once if you measure how much current is going, 10 by 9 ampere. If the total current is 10 by 9 ampere, then what is this I? Okay, that I is equal to 10 divided by 9 opposite resistance divided by total resistance. Okay, opposite resistance divided by total resistance. Then this comes as I comes as 2 by 3 9 ampere. Yes, it has to be, because the previous case also you got 2 by 3 ampere, now also 2 by 3. That means this network is satisfying the reciprocity. This network is satisfying the reciprocity principle, reciprocity theorem. Okay, so again I'll just extend this one. Okay, same problem I will take. Now simply I will extend. Okay, if the same problem is given like this, say I take the same problem. Now I will take this as a V and this as a I. Now this was 4 ohm, this is 6 ohm, 3 ohm. Same problem only I have taken, but instead of 6 volt, okay, I am putting here high. So what I'm, when V is equal to 6 volt, clearly this I is what, sir? 2 by 3 ampere. Now what happens if I put V is equal to minus 6 volt? What would be the I? I would be the minus 2 by 3 ampere. That also applicable. Okay. Once if I increase, or once if I change the value, the corresponding change will be there in the output. Once if it is minus 6, then this is minus 2 by 3. Or instead of 6, if I put 12 here instead of 2 by 3, it would be 4 by 3. It would be 4 by 3. Okay, like that, the corresponding changes will be there if it is a bilateral reciprocal network, linear reciprocal network. Okay, so like this kind of question also may be asked. Okay, next I'll take another problem. Okay, uh, find I. The network is like this. Here 10 volt is the voltage source. Two ampere. This is R3, R1, R2. This is R4. When the network is like this, I do not know what is this resistance value, but Whenever I apply 10 volt voltage source here, I am getting 2 ampere current here. Then what is the question? The question here is, the diagram is same, the network is same, it is like this. Now instead of applying 10 volt here, they are applying minus 20 volt here. Now what is the answer? This is short. Okay, and again rest of the things remain same, R1, R2, R3, R4. One thing we know, if you interchange this 10 volt, if I bring this 10 volt here it would have been 2 ampere. That is very much sure, because it has to satisfy the reciprocity theorem, because all are resistors only. Okay, so I do not have really problem, because I can put the source here itself. Okay, if 10 volt voltage source is here, then my answer here, I have to find out finally I, this I. Okay, my I would have been 2 ampere. Okay, if I use 20 volt here, then it would have been 4 ampere, but I am using minus 20 volt. So my current is minus 4 ampere. Okay, so what is the correct answer? Minus 4 ampere is the correct answer. Okay, and again, when we can apply this rule, okay, reciprocity theorem, okay, when we can apply, the next question arises, if there are more than one sources, can we apply the reciprocity theorem? When there are more than one sources, we'll go by superposition principle. And again, can we apply reciprocity theorem when there are more than one voltage source? Okay, you take some particular problem and try to find out, okay, try to apply this condition whether the answer remains same or not. And again, if this rule is valid, if the circuit consists of dependent sources, okay, circuit consists of dependent sources. So you should know this, okay. So you take a note, this procedure is valid only if the single voltage source is present. Okay, this procedure is valid, applicable for single voltage source, applicable for single voltage source. Okay, then this procedure is not applicable if the circuit consists of dependent sources. Not applicable. This procedure not applicable if circuit has dependent sources. If the circuit has dependent sources. Okay, so this is the idea. This is the concept you should remember here. Okay, thank you.